أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وأصلي وأسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ثم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. How are you? So my topic today is something very, very important: how and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us through our lifetime. And the reason why I consider this as important, because nowadays we are living in an age of turmoil. Every day there is something happening. All these incidents, accidents, people are getting sick. Every other day we hear that there is a janazah here and a Masjid Wali. People are getting sick. They have surgeries. Our own brothers and sisters from MCMC, they're getting sick. All these calamities that befall on the believers from time to time, these are tests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's wise for us to understand how and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us pass through this tunnel of test and turmoil. And if we happen to find ourselves in that situation, we understand that this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we should be ready to pass through this painful period with patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran common words of these tests, three main common words. One is ibtila, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afflicts people. The other one is, most common one is fitna. Not the fitna in Urdu that we use. It's not that fitna. And the third one is either imtihan, ikhtibar, or al-bala. So al-bala, fitna, these are the most common words. Fitna, the word fitna actually came from the word fatana. You say when you put the gold and silver into the fire to make sure, find out if the gold and silver is fake or real. That's the process of filtering. That's the real meaning of fatana. In the Quran and Sunnah, fitna means, as I said, kullu ma yusibul mu'min. These are the five important areas that fitna, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests people in those five areas. Kullu ma yusibul mu'min, everything that befalls on the believer. Fi nafsihi, in himself. Wa mali wa ahlihi, his family and children. That's the second area. Malihi, his wealth and belongings. Wa irdihi, and his honor and dignity. जिसे उर्दू में आबरू भी कहते हैं. And last but not least, the most toughest one is dini. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests people through deen, and how mutamassik and practicing Muslims you are, how you hold importance of your values of your deen. And if you happen to face tough situation, especially when you live in this age of fitna, temptation and trial, indecent exposure, where sometimes it becomes harder to save the dignity of Iman, and especially what's happening to our youth when they go outside, especially girls, when they go outside in universities, wearing hijab, going into the hallways and what they see around. Sometimes we cannot imagine what goes through our mind. It's a very, very terrible times. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives tests. Because He is the creator. So He knows situations and He knows capacities. Who is able to bear how much? So the test comes, subhanallah, as we go along according to that personal capacity. What's the wisdom? Why all this happens? تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. Glorified is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in whose hand there is domain. Then He mentions, He said, الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. He's the one who created life and death. So this whole system of life and death itself is a fitna. And why? لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. Here he used the word بَلَا يَبْلُو بَلَا أَنَذَيْسِ. One is bala, one is fitna. These are the most common words. To test you. Then he mentioned the issue of either when you live in this world, do you prefer quantity or do you prefer quality? So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, to test you, ayyukum ahsan amala, so that He knows which one of you is the best in deeds. So it doesn't really matter that you do not have piles of amal and deeds. What's important is how beautiful and solid and quality deeds. So that's a question of al-ihsan. Inshallah, next time we'll talk about the quality of al-ihsan. Shaykh Salih al-Munajjid wrote something nice. He says, "Ad-dunya darul amal." This dunya that we live in is the home of work. We work here. 24/7 we struggle. We do 100 million things in all areas of life. And this dunya is darul ibtila also. Because we work, we go through tests. وَالْآخِرَةُ هِيَ دَارُ الْجَزَاءِ. But the akhirah is the day of compensation. Because after each period of time where people struggle to work, at the end, this is the rule in this world. When we work, we need compensation. So al-akhirah is the day of reward, compensation, either way, either to Jannah or to An-Nar. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who are qualified to be in Jannah bi mashiyatillah. Then he says something more amazing. He said, the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes through this cycle of test is because He wants to purify us. And one of the word for purity is tayyib. He wants to make us tayyib, pure. Because He is getting us to go to Al-Jannah. Al-Jannah to tayyibah. Because Jannah is pure. Jannah is pure. وَلَا يَدْخُلُهَا إِلَّا مَنْ كَانَ طَيِّبٍ. And in the Jannah, nobody will go except that he or she is at this state, at the level of purity. Why? Because Jannah is created by the tayyib, most tayyib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu tayyibun, and Allah is tayyib too. La yaqbalu illa tayyib. His standard is that when He accepts according to His own standards, in a way that suits His majesty. So until and unless we are pure to the level of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to go to Jannah, which is tayyib. So it's a sign of His mercy. Then He said all these impurities, wrong things that you do in this world, I'm going to purify you by giving you tests and trials, make you solid, and then finally we'll give you into Jannah because You are tayyib, welcomed by at-tayyib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this dunya there is a rule, and I want you to give me attention from after now, because everything that comes very important to it. He said this, in this dunya there is a system. He said if you want success, you have to work. You have to put your efforts. And then, in a way that you need to recognize and identify what is radi, something which is bad quality, khabis, something bad, versus tayyib. So Quran uses those terms. There is something tayyib, again, same word, versus khabis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you will not go into Jannah until a process of separating evil from tayyib is complete. ما كان الله ليذر المؤمنين على ما أنتم عليه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not take you, will not leave you on this earth like others in your current state until He separates evil from good, because Jannah is not for evil. So slowly and gradually, by giving us tests and trials, sometimes bearable, sometimes the tests are not bearable in terms of length. Sometimes tests last, and then we make dua. So whatever may be the case, this is the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Al-Ankabut describes the system the most beautiful way and the most powerful way. The same way, the same way as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like to see purity, to get us prepared to something pure, which is Jannah, to be welcomed by the most pure Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before that, the process of separating evil from good. In Surah Al-Ankabut, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said something more profound. Alif Lam Mim. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا. Do people think that they will be left out? Nothing will be said to them? No evaluation, no test, no exam. Nothing will be given to them, just like that. We just are born, we live, we enjoy, and we die. Is this whole system of dunya works like that? No. And يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. That they will say, we have belief, we are mu'mineen, we have iman. وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. I'm sorry. وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. And they will not be tested. That doesn't make sense. So if there is iman inside the heart, and we qualify to become mu'min or mu'minun, then bala and fitna will be there. Like I said, default. So if you claim that you are mu'min, we have to go through ibtila. And then he said, don't get the impression that this process of ibtila or imtihan or bala or fitna is only for Muslims. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not distinction between who the person is. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. All those people who came before you, we tested them too. Why? He said to filter. فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. He said the next process will be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see and filter who are sadiqeen, who are the truthful people, versus who are liars, who lied. And subhanallah, It's scary sometimes. That it tells us that there's a lot of people will be labeled by kadhibin. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you are kadhibin, wal ayadu billah. And kadhibin will not enter into Jannah. We have to be among the group of sadiqeen. That's why we will qualify to be in the group of tayyibin, to be entered into Al-Jannah which is tayyib. فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. So after that, this is some of it, wisdom, reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does this. So this is the default system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He does this with every